Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we are doing some modifications on the Chevy. This is a big one, probably the biggest one we've done yet, other than the roof rack intent. So come check it out. We are putting on a full front and rear suspension from Icon. So not full, not the arms, but just the shocks, rear shocks, which I don't have on the table here. And then we're gonna upgrade these upper control arms to the beefier Icon versions. So these things are really big and they look really good. So this should give us some more articulation, a little more wheel travel, and a better ride off-road than the standard stuff that Chevy has on theirs. So we're gonna do an install video. I may talk through some of it, I may not, I may just have you guys watch. I haven't decided if I want to do a step-by-step yet, depending on how long it takes us. So we are going to start with the front driver's side and we're going to go from there. So this is what it looks like now, and we'll see if it looks any different afterwards. Alright guys, so with the wheel off, this is our standard components from Chevy. We do have a couple upgrades. We've got the tie rod reinforcement brackets, but we'll be replacing the upper control arm here, and of course we've got the front shock that we're going to be replacing. And I believe, what is that, reservoir probably go here?
Yes,
that's right, I think goes there. So we're gonna show you kind of what we're doing step by step, and these components will be new by the time we are done. Alright guys, so we're going to be using a Torx bit. We're going to take the speed sensor wire off, and then all the wires that you see up here, we're going to take all the wires off here, and we're going to set them out of the way so we're not pulling or tearing anything. So that'll be your first step after you take the tire off, is to get all this organized and get it out of the way. Alright guys, so once you got all this stuff unbolted, we're going to take apart the tie rod, and we're going to do that with my Milwaukee I have here. Let's hope it doesn't struggle. What should I put on? Fucking
3 full send.
Full send. Whoa, look at that, Milwaukee for the win. That was quick.
Probably come off by hand now.
Yeah, actually that was didn't even struggle at all.
Try to push it down. Perfect.
Okay,
next side.
let's go to the next side, guys.
Oh, no.
All right. Same thing.
All right. Does that come down by hand?
Yep.
Sweet.
All right. All right, guys. So next is going to be these two bolts, sway bar end link. We're gonna again pop this off here. Let's. All right. Do you want me to pull it all the way out?
You're gonna need a socket and a wrench.
Oh, hang on a minute. That. Looks like it's kind of twisting
spinning.
the bushing in the back.
Yeah.
You're
going to need a wrench to go on here and a wrench to go on here.
Okay. So once you got this bolt out here, guys, just droop your sway bar down, and now we're gonna take this bolt out. You said don't take it all the way off. How far down you want me to? Okay.
Now try to pull that down. Otherwise you need a ball joint separator, and then you're taking a chance on destroying your ball joint. So that it applies here.
Right. So what he's saying is, once you get this the bolt down, you need to take it and smack this to get this to separate here, so it can settle because of the corrosion, and it just gets attached here. All right, guys. So when you take this out from here, it's gonna pop off, so make sure you hold this. We were gonna use a strap to hold this up, but it looks like it's actually pretty steady here, so we're just gonna work with it in this area. All right, guys, so there's 3 15mm bolts up here on the top here. You're gonna need a longer wrench to get to them. Once you take those off, you're gonna go down below here, 15mm bolts, you're gonna take that off. and we are going to proceed to pop this shock out and go from there. So just a second, we're going to actually twist these 15mm bolts off right here. Oh shoot. Let me get a better. All right, one. All right, those two.
Pull out.
And now we should be able to pull this shock out. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera, y'all. Let me make sure these are like so. Nice and clean. So those 3 bolts are what you're getting at, and that's why you need the longer wrench to get in there.
Nice.
We don't need any.
Nope.
Okay guys, with your upper control arm out and our shock out, now we can go ahead and we're gonna come to the table and we're gonna start assembling our new upper control arm. We're gonna get that in, and then we can go ahead and get the proper shock in as well. All right guys, so we are greasing up the control arm bearings. So we're just gonna be greasing everything, get a nice thin layer on this, and goop it up inside. This is my first time doing this, so I got Kevin here telling me what to do. I don't typically, as a DIYer, go too far in depth with all my stuff. Still need it to run. And then you're gonna grab these, get a nice thin layer on that. Just the metal. I'm sorry, this is gonna be the middle portion of the bearing. We're gonna slide that on. Slide that on like so. Finish up with this last one here. Nice and goopy, greasy. And once you've got some inside of the bearing already, hey, you're fine. Put that in here. Pop those in. All right. Looks like. All right, nice and greasy. And then these top ones here.
So what?
These are for the wires, right?
The ball joint's gonna point down.
All right. We're just gonna have to work on aligning it, right? So. Needs to go down a little bit. There it is. Okay, there's one. Oh. I think this one's just kind of funny because you got to bring it back like this. Sorry guys, my hands are probably in the way. Your hands are going to be messy, so just expect that.
Can you get to it?
Yeah, there it goes. All right.
There you go.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead and hit the end of the bolts where it's got all that shit locked to it.
I'm probably gonna have to run in and grab some more paper towel.
Here you go.
Throw those back on a minute.
It almost looks like we know what we're doing.
Almost looks like we know what we're doing. We're making good progress. All right. And
we need to find torque specs.
yep. And if you guys can kind of see here, we put those Zert fittings there so we could easily access them. Don't put them on backwards. That will not be a good day. All right, guys. So we brought the bolt back in, and what we're about to do is we're gonna put some red thread locker on these interior upper control arm bolts, and we're gonna torque them down to 120 foot-pounds.
Probably gonna need to move the tie rod.
Oh shit.
You close in place?
Close, but we may have to compress this.
Shove your control arm down.
I mean, that's...
And when you're done, I'm going to jump in and take a look.
Because that lock is out. That's about all, as far as it's going to go right there.
All right.
So we're trying to get this bar pin in place. They are extremely tight in order to get these the OEM bolts back up in there. So that's what we're doing right now. Otherwise we have that coilover on, and again we're just trying to get this bar pin aligned to that lower arm here. All right, guys, so we got this one done. Before we put the tie rod and sway bar in, we are going to do the other side. That is where we have that mount. So this is where we put the Icon remote reservoir, cut that out a little bit, and we'll adjust it, you know, as we need to once we kind of see, once we get the wheel and stuff back on. So this is what it looks like right now. All right, guys, so we're just wrapping this up. We measured this out about 2 inches, so don't forget to do that. These upper control arms are much more beefy. That coilover is super beefy. We've got the remote reservoir mounted up here. As you can see, it's a great place to go. Looks good. We just cut this out of the corner here. This did take longer than I guess we expected. Gosh, we've been working on this since 9. I don't know what really slowed us down.
Going to Harbor Freight, going to lunch.
Yeah, I mean, so we did. I didn't have all the tools. I might not have had all the tools that we needed to do everything. So we did do a lunch and a Harbor Freight run. We do still have the back to do, which, Kevin, are we gonna do the back real quick?
It's up to you.
Yeah, then we're gonna put these wheels back on the front, tackle the back. Just wanted to show you guys, this was super nice looking. Everything looks really good. Everything is torqued back to spec. Got an alignment scheduled for Monday, and yeah, let's see if we can jump this with our new Icon. Just kidding. All right, guys, this is really high, so we're actually gonna back this down. If you can see here, we definitely have a squat, so we're gonna back this down a 1/2 inch, and we may have to go with a block in the rear. All right, guys, so our final determination. I really like the way the front looks. I'm holding off because I don't have rear lift blocks on the rear, so this will be to be continued here. I ordered some 2-inch lift blocks for the rear, and then once I put the rear lift blocks on, we'll install the shocks, and then everything will be good, because obviously there's a good sized rake, but I like the way the front looks. I want it to be lifted like that. I like the way that looks. We actually had to reduce that lift because Icons goes really high, higher than actually we anticipated. So that's awesome. So we have it set at what, 1.5 inches?
Yes.
We have it set at 1.5 inches, and this is the way it looks. But obviously you can tell there's a disparity here. It's like wonk. So we're gonna wait for the lift blocks, get it installed, and then I'll follow up and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So we drove it, and after driving it, it actually raked out really nice. So we're gonna put the shocks on. We're not even gonna touch it with blocks. It ended up working out real nice. Ride is real smooth. You know, such a nice ride that the Icon provides here. So you can kind of tell here, it's probably hard to see here, there's really no rake left in it. There's a pretty equal amount of space in the front and rear. If I need blocks, I'll put them on. If I don't need it, I'm not going to worry about it. So I think right now it looks good. We're going to throw these rear shocks on a second. These ones are really easy, and then we'll show you what it looks like. All right, y'all, so we are coming to a close on getting everything wrapped up. We have our tools everywhere. This has taken us a while. I mean, we've stopped though, bullshitted, and just had a good time doing it. So on here, as you can see, I'm gonna jump underneath here so y'all can see a second. So we got that. I did want to just like show you Icon. They put the stickers upside down, geniuses here. But at least we got the remote reservoir in the right orientation, and it was pretty simple. But this is what we're looking at here. That's our nav sight light, which is helping us a ton be able to see down here. And this Milwaukee has also saved us a ton of time ripping these bolts in half. It looks like we're not going to need to put a 2-inch block on or anything like that right now, so we're doing good. But you can't really see the remote reservoir shocks like other vehicles from the outside. You will be able to see it here. And again, this is looking really nice like that. And of course, you've got all of the goodies in here looking really nice. And it rides exceptionally well when we took it off just down the road to make sure we got it to settle. Obviously it settled, you know, down quite a bit, and feels great. So once we get this in, we're gonna take it for another ride, see how it goes, give you our final thoughts, and then we're gonna be taking it up to Uwharrie this next weekend, and maybe not full sending it, but maybe we can send it a little more articulation, better shocks, and go a little faster on the trails without vibrating the teeth out of my head. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so we are going to talk about my final thoughts on the Icon Stage 3. We've got the remote reservoirs with the delta joint and the upper control arms, and I have to say that overall I think the install was relatively easy. It was my first time doing it. I had my buddy Kevin with me. He's more experienced in these sort of things, and I think that it turned out really, really well. Everything is driving good, and to be honest with you, the alignment even doesn't really seem like it needs to be done, but obviously I'm going to get it done. I do think I need to do still about a 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inch in the rear lift block. Chevy's got a 0.5, and I do have a leaf spring in there, so I may just do 1 inch. But I mean, all in all, it took us all day. We started at 9, had lunch, kind of messed around, got everything, had a Harbor Freight run in there, and then we got done at about, I don't know, 1700. So we were out there working pretty much all day, and but I think everything went good. I learned a lot from doing it myself. I think I could probably do it now. It is way easier with 2 people. We can work a little faster with it. The truck does ride really good with especially the coilovers in the front. I won't really know exactly how well those remote reservoirs work that are actually down here until we get it off road and I can actually go ahead and check it out. However, there is one thing that I did not like, and I did not like how close Icon puts the shock tower by the shock mount. Now this could have been easily avoided. I'm not an engineer, but I feel like it could have been easily avoided, just having the mount just lowered slightly so that joint can actually move without damage being caused to the shock tower, because it says to have the rod down, right? Okay, it's pretty normal. And then remote reservoir is facing away from the axle. Well, on the passenger side of the truck, you can't do that, because if you have the remote reservoir facing away from the axle, the remote reservoir line that comes off of that shock is going to get squished against basically the body of the truck if it moves at all. So I wasn't going to take that risk, so I flipped it around, and I think that is one design flaw that Icon has in this kit. And I know there's other people who talk about going in and cutting their shock mounting, altercating where the shock mounts. And the thing is this was advertised as a bolt-on. It is a bolt-on, but for clearance options, I know they probably have you face it away from the axle. I did check it and flex it, and it's not rubbing, or not even close to be rubbing. The axle's not going to come up and hit the remote reservoir. But I do think that if for a true bolt-on kit, I should not have to altercate anything. And unfortunately, if you did want to run it with the remote reservoir facing away from the axle, at least on the passenger side, you really would have to either cut up on the top of the mount, or, to be honest with you, you really don't want to, because it's going to squish the line either way. You can't even cut into that, so you'd have to flip it around in order for that remote reservoir to face towards the axle, but it's still far enough away so it's not going to flex. And I'm going to go down there right now and show you, so you all don't maybe think I'm crazy. All right, so this line here, right here, is supposed to go over here. But again, look at how far this line sticks out. It is just not feasible for that to happen. So like I said, this shock here, it's not actually near the axle. I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's plenty of space. It's not going to hit the leaf spring, and it's not going to hit the axle no matter how far this shock travels. But I just wanted to show you here that I don't know why Icon did this, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, or if I'm crazy, or if I don't know what I'm talking about, but that line right there is way too close to sitting in here, and there's really no room for this to actually move. And even if you look even straight up to there, if you look at this, try not to burn my hands, this right here, that darn near touches. So I don't know why they designed it like that. It's gonna end my rant right here, so I don't get too far into it, but you guys let me know what you think about that. All right, so other than that, y'all, we had this sucker 2 inches up. Like, this thing was like at least another inch. We actually lowered it an inch because I had such a crazy rake going on, and so we lowered it an inch, still looked high, drove it around, it settled, and we're good to go. It drives really nice. Everything works as it should. I would say the only hard part we had, of course, is getting your fingers up on top of the shock mount where you got the 3 bolts up there, and of course torquing those is difficult as well. But you know, all in all, I had a really good experience with putting this in. I learned a lot, and I can't wait to take it off road. We're going to URE. Right, today is May 3rd, and we're gonna go up there, I believe, on May 10. And I'm so stoked to see how this lift kit performs. I know a ton of people who run these kits, and they all really love them. So I'm sure I'm sure it's gonna be, you know, one of the major, super awesomest upgrades to the truck that I've done. And I think I'll lift this up a little bit higher. It does have a 1-inch diff drop already, so we don't have to worry about the CV angle. And then also, I'm gonna get an alignment and then maybe do an inch lift block in the rear. I don't know yet, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But all in all, it was a pretty sweet install. Again, I learned a lot. I've never really dug into stuff like that, and I'm glad to do it because I'll be doing it on the Jeep probably next whenever we get around to getting some lifts into that. But otherwise, the Chevy Trail Boss runs great with the Icon Stage 3. It's sick. Y'all should check it out. And maybe someone in the comments can touch base with me on why Icon did that stuff with the shocks. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy. Considering this is the first kit I've really done with the shocks and whatnot. I've never seen a shock run that close to the mount before. So y'all let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. God bless, and y'all have a good day.